You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
We're back. Our guests from the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority. Gene Renzaglia is the chair of the board. Burrow Smith is the board treasurer. And we're talking about issues that are out in the public and some of the criticisms that and perceptions the public has about the authority. Before we went to break, I mentioned that the board gave your CEO a hefty $18,000 incentive bonus. Was that you're the treasurer? Was that ill-advised considering the financial shape the authority is in now?
No. What we did is we went outside the community to hire Matt Jordan. He had a very good reputation with the state as far as looking after the environment, being a good steward of the environment, and that's what we wanted. He also had to come in and combine two forces, the city and Wilmington.
But that's what he's getting paid for.
Right. He had a great resume, but we didn't know him. So what we did is we set him up at a base salary of $140,000 so we could figure him out the first year. And then he had an incentive part that could been up to $28,000. And he knew that going in. He felt confident enough about his abilities that he could prove himself.
So there was an expectation, if not definitive, at least implied, that he would get additional money if the board approved it.
Absolutely.
And that's why that was.
And the 140 was at the lower range of what comparable pays were across.
So did you feel
the
that if you didn't do that, he would leave?
We felt like that if he turned out not to be what we expected, yeah, he would probably say, okay, it's not working after a year or two and leave. But what he's done is he's turned this organization around. Look at the difference the way the state is viewing the Ogden Interceptor versus the Northeast Interceptor, for example.
Well, we're going to let...
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We're being proactive instead of reactive.
We'll talk about the Ogden
He rated out at 22.5 that year, and what we did, because of the economy, we only gave him 18 after his first year after we evaluated him.
And Don, I think it's important to understand that the incentive pay is significantly different than a bonus. A bonus is paid out based solely on financial results of an organization. The incentive
pay... It's not paid for doing a good job?
No, it's based on your
financial...
Bonus
isn't paid for doing a good job?
Bonuses normally are paid out based on financial results. So if the organization
So incentive is paid for doing a good job, bonus is paid for...
Incentive has its basis in the objectives that are set forth. We put in place very concise objectives that are measurable.
So he hit the mark, so you felt he was...
He hits the mark,
I want to move on because we got more to talk about. Last month, and you were mentioning how the elected officials have been very supportive, but and we're going to put this quote up on screen. Jason Thompson, the chair of the New Hanover County Commission, had this to say about bonuses and increased pay. When they give out big bonuses to their executive director and pay increases, it makes me think they aren't paying attention to the citizens of the community they're really supposed to be serving. That's a quote from Jason Thompson, chair of the New Hanover County Commission.
I'm not sure if he was referring to our CEO or if he was referring to someone else in this particular case. I don't know where that came from. Jason Thompson sat on our board as a member of the City Council. He was part of the review process that we went through. You would have to ask Jason where and why he feels this way. I can't respond for him.
And then in December, again, your CEO got a 16% retroactive raise. Was that a merit raise or was that a contractual raise?
Mr. Jordan has a 5-year contract with the authority. At the end of the first year, we went through the process of the incentive pay part of his compensation clause. The consensus of the board was that an incentive pay clause was something that was difficult to manage in a public sector. And therefore, we opened discussions with Mr. Jordan to remove the incentive pay from his contract. So remember, he had a base pay of $140,000 with the opportunity to make as much as $168,000. And through the discussions, we then settled on a base pay that would be, I think it's $162,000.
Basically what he rated out in our first evaluation.
Right. Okay, and your CEO has said that he would not take his contractual salary increase of 2.9%.
That is correct. In the second year of his contract, the other piece of his contract in the compensation sector says that he shall receive a cost of living increase. We were quite surprised to find out that from the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, for our sector, that it went up 2.9% this past year. Most people did.
I want to move on because I want to get to the Ogden Interceptor.
I want to make sure that you know that he
we're not
did
going to get to the
deny
Ogden Interceptor if we go on. So
he denied that.
He denied his raise.
Yes, he did.
Because of the
He felt that
economic climate. He thought it would be.
He felt that if the rest of the employees couldn't receive it, he would not want it.
The Ogden Interceptor, it's a 9,000-foot sewer line. It's 10 years old. It's failing. And it needs to be replaced. Is that correct? Why is it failing? And the authority, wasn't in place when this was put in.
We inherited the Ogden Interceptor, and there is a failure in the system, and we are doing the evaluation to say what has caused the problem. Is it a construction problem? Is it a material
Should whoever
construction?
installed it or supplied the materials be responsible for paying for that?
Yes, and we're looking at that.
Yeah.
Once we can determine what the failure mode was, then we will go back to whether it's the folks that installed it or who supplied that pipe. But
Do you think you'll get satisfaction?
my guess would be we would get to some point of satisfaction, but not all of what we'd want.
And that's a big dollar item.
Yeah, we're looking at spending about $7 to $8 million is our estimate at this point to replace that nearly 2 miles of sewer line.
Let's, for the folks that don't know the makeup of the board, quickly just tell us who sits on the board, not names, but how they're appointed.
There's 11 members of this board. 2 of them are from the city council, 2 are from the county commissioners.
Appointed by city council, appointed by county commission?
No, they belong.
They have to be members.
They are the members of the council and the commission. Then there are 3 of us that are appointed by the city, 3 of us that are appointed by the county, and the last person is a joint appointee of the county and city.
I got you. Thank you so much.
It's been our pleasure. I hope this answers some of the questions that folks have, and we'd be more than glad to come back and discuss other issues with you at any point in time.
Let's do that.
Yeah, the board's open, and if people ask us questions, we'll get them answers. I mean, we have nothing to hide.
Thanks, Burroughs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gene.
It's been a pleasure.
Next week, talking about money, we'll talk about the local sales tax increase referendum. It's coming up in the May referendum, and we'll have Bruce Shell, who is county manager and one of our county commissioners on, so stay with us for that. I'm Don Ansell. Have a great week.
You've been watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Join us every Sunday morning as we explore the issues that concern you.